Good evening, everybody. Thank you for joining us on another episode of Weeknights with Wonder Girls. I'm Cheryl.
Hi, I'm Mabel.
Let's have a look who is online with us. Say hi in the comments so that we know who is here. In a while, we are going to tell you more about this cycling trip to Italy that will take place in September. Feel free to talk to us by chatting in the comments box, or if you have any questions about the Italy cycling trip that we are going to share, do not hesitate to put your queries in the comments too. Hi Lele, thank you for tuning in.
Hi, Lele. Good evening to you.
Okay, so we shall start and we are going to talk about the gastronomic heart of Italy self-guided ride. This is a trip preview and the trip is scheduled to take place on 18 to 21st of September 2002 and it will last about 8 days. Right. So the trip will take place in this region in northern Italy called Emilia-Romagna. So there are 4 key cities that we will be visiting on this cycling trip. They will be Bologna, Modena, Reggio Emilia, as well as Parma. Right. So the gateway to get into northern Italy is via Milan. If you are taking a flight, you should arrive in Milan Malpensa Airport. Right. Then from Milan, you will take a train to the city of Bologna. The train ride is around 1 hour if you are taking from central Milan station, or else if you are coming from the airport straight into Bologna, the train journeys will take about 2 hours and 45 minutes, including about a 30 minutes transfer in between. Right. So this trip is now we're retailing this trip at 1,376 per person, basing on twin share. And if you book by 30th April, we are giving an offer of $50 off per person. Right? Mabel is going to put the link of the itinerary onto the comments. So if you are interested, please click on the link and you will be able to get more information later on. All right? Or else, girl, listen to me to present it further to share with you. Right. Now we look at the entry requirements to Italy. The information is correct as of today. Currently, Italy is open to those with a vaccination certificate with the most simplest entry requirement. Right. Before you arrive, you need to fill up the digital passenger locator form. So it's an e-form that you have to fill in before you fly into Italy. And then it is advisable to always carry some FFP2 masks with you because they are at the present moment now still required when you are taking the public transport and into some of the indoor venues. Okay, so FFP2 mask is equivalent to the N95 mask that we have it here. Right. So far so good. Any one of you have any questions before I continue about
So far,
the
so
places
good,
that we are
Cheryl.
going to build? Okay, so we will continue.
All right.
Yeah. So this trip is graded as a beginner cycling route, which means it is suitable for most of the cyclists. And the terrain is relatively flat, although there are some short climbs as well as some undulating in certain parts of the cycling route. But nevertheless, it is nothing too technical or too tough for anybody. Right. We are going to cover a total of about 322 kilometers over 6 days of cycling. Right. We will be beginning our journey in Bologna, and then we will move to Modena for 2 nights, to Reggio Emilia for 2 nights, and then we will finish off the trip with 2 more nights in the city of Parma. Now let's take a look at what kind of cycling terrain you can expect on this trip, right? So you will have a wide variety of different type of cycling path or on the roads. One of them will be paved cycling path, as you can see on the pictures here. Then also we will probably also cycling in some of the tiled cycling path, right? Especially along the river. Then again, especially when we are approaching the villages or the cities or even towns, we will expect that the roads will be covered streets. Okay, but it is very thoughtful of the Italian government to have 2 strips of paved, do we say path? To aid the cyclists to be able to cycle more smoothly on the covered streets. Okay, so generally we'll be seeing more of these as we enter into the town or in the town square. That means right in the heart of the village, the cities, or the towns. Then again, as we approach the countryside, we will also be able to expect hard gravel path, as you can see in the image here. It is a little bit like Coney Island. If you have cycled to Coney Island before, would I say that it's sandy? It's a little bit like pebbleish, very very fine small stone, and it is hard, right? Easy to cycle, and then at certain parts you may also have dirt path, right? What do I mean by dirt path? It is actually naturally trails. It's just that it is not paved, right? Something like this as you see in the image. Then also there will be opportunity to cycle in certain parts of the road, but you will be assured that most of these roads are actually quiet country roads, okay, with very, very light vehicle or very light traffic, right? So if you have been following us for quite a while, you will have realized that this trip is marked as experience self-guided with travel wonder. Okay, on this departure, 18th of September, you will embark on a self-guided trip with a travel wonder trip facilitator. Okay, so what is this difference from a normal self-guided trip? Is that only on this special departure on 18th of February, one of us, either myself or Mabel, will be on this trip, and we will support you and guide you on how to make use of the provisions of digital maps as well as route notes and route maps to do this cycling holiday, right? So it is a little bit like self-driving, right? Perhaps we can have our audience here to share with us if any one of you have done self-driving holidays before. All right, you type one, okay, into the comments. Whether it's an overseas self-driving holidays or even if it's just a day trip that you self-drive into Malaysia, right? Similarly, it's about the same. Instead that on this trip now you are on a bicycle, right? So you will be navigating through the routes, okay, with the help of digital maps, just like your GPS, like as if you switch on your Google Maps and then you key in your destination, and then with the help of it, it will bring you to the destination. Okay. So the good thing about a self-guided trip is that you are able to cycle at your own speed with pre-designated routes along very well signposted cycling trails. Okay. So as I mentioned earlier on, you will navigate with cycling GPS, route notes, and maps. And then you also get to explore as you desire. Just like when you are on a self-driving holidays, you can stop as and when as you want on your pre-designated route. Okay, so you can visit something that will probably interest you, and if it doesn't, you can continue your journey. You also have the option to shorten or lengthen the cycling distance. So when we talk about if you want to shorten your cycling distance, that is probably you would want to skip uh, the cycle for the entire day and you fast track by taking a public transport to the next destination. Okay, for those who are super fit or probably super fast, if you want to cycle more, you are also able to do that, right? By doing a little bit of detour here and there along the ways before you reach the destination for the day. So on such self-guided trip, what are some of the things that are already included? The necessity that you will need, right? It will be your accommodation with breakfast, luggage transfer during cycling days, bicycle hire, and you are given options to upgrade if you want to. Then you will also be provided with digital GPS routing, digital route notes, and then emergency support phone number, right? So what type of bicycles we will provide for the cyclists on this trip? It will be the street handlebar hybrid bicycle as is seen on the images, aluminium frame and fork. Okay, but if you will wish to upgrade your bicycle, it is also possible too. Okay, you can choose to opt up to a lighter hybrid bicycle, a titanium frame and fork, or for those who are more used to riding a road bike, you can also upgrade to a titanium road bike. Okay. Then also who probably for some cyclists who want to really go super leisure, I will encourage you to opt for a e-bike. Okay. So the surcharge can range between 68 for titanium hybrid or titanium road bike up to $200 for the e-bike. And this upgrade will be cover the whole duration of the cycling holidays, right? So here again, Mabel should have already pinned the itinerary down there. You can have a look into the details of the itinerary while I continue to share what's to look out for on this trip, right? So far so good. Anyone has any questions? Would
So
like
far,
to
so
ask us?
good. We have Uncle Lau online, we have Laura, we have Kinley. So hi to everybody. Thank you for tuning in.
Hello,
If you have
hi.
any questions, just let us know in the comments below. But for now, we are all good.
Okay, so I shall continue. All right. So this trip will take place in one of the greenest region in Italy, Emilia-Romagna. It is also home to some of the culinary specialties that have led Italy to worldwide fame. We will kick off the cycling holidays in the capital city in this region, Bologna. So here are some of the trip highlights that you see on the screen, right? So being one of the countries with the highest concentration of UNESCO World Heritage Sites. So Bologna is one of them. And then you will be riding on rail to trails bike path to Bozano, which is a World Heritage Site of located very close to historic Modena. Then in Modena itself, you have the opportunities or the chance to visit street markets, right? It is also the home of balsamic vinegar, and then we are going to stay in a farmhouse for 2 nights. Right? Then, of course, when you reach the city of Parma, that is the place where it is home to two local delicacy, the Parma ham as well as the Parmesan cheese. We'll talk about that a little bit later on. So right in the heart of Italy, steeped in history and tradition, Bologna is the source of the good life and the generosity of a land renowned for its hospitality. If time permits, perhaps come to Bologna a few days earlier to explore her networks of art cities as well as little villages. And of course, we must try her local food specialty. One of them is the Matadella ham, a large Italian sausage, or you can also call it the incorporates at least 15% small cubes of pork fat as you can see from those white patches of the ham shown in the image. Many of us will be very familiar with spaghetti bolognese. It is not the dish, but the meat sauce that has its origin in Bologna. Then you will embark on the rail to trail cycling path converted from a railway track to the fortress town of Bozano. The elegant old town of Bozano is combined with the geometric beauty of the countryside that offers picturesque views, nature, historic villas with old farmhouse. The Renaissance fortress that has its origin back to the year 1000 is definitely worth a visit. Then we will arrive at the city of Modena, which brings us to a crossroad of fine cars and excellent food. While we are there, it will be a common scene to often see Ferraris and Maseratis gliding down the roads of Modena and its surroundings. The city of Modena is also rich in architectural treasures such as the Landina Tower, the marble-covered cathedral, and Piazza Grande, which was added to the World Heritage List by UNESCO. Modena also produces some of the best vinegars in the world, known as balsamic vinegar, which is made from grapes. The casks are made of different woods like oak, chestnut, ash, acacia, and cherry. When you are visiting restaurants in Italy or any Italian restaurant where else in the world, you will often be served bread with olive oil and balsamic vinegar. I have also discovered that it is the best dressing to go with fresh grilled seafood, especially grilled squid. Nothing else, just olive oil and balsamic vinegar. You may also visit one of the two Ferrari museums in Modena if you are a car fan of this brand. We will enjoy a ride to the foothills of the Apennines along quiet roads and bicycle paths. The Apennine mountain range is regarded as the backbone of peninsular Italy. Okay. Then we will visit the picturesque town of Castelvetro, which is fortified historical center and home to the traditional balsamic vinegar production. The town, which is nested within a gentle rolling landscape, is categorized by the presence of six medieval towers, including the clock tower as well as the prison tower. Then finally, we will come to the last city, Parma. It is the second most populous city after Bologna in the Emilia-Romagna region. It is also the home to one of the oldest universities of the world. Parma is one of the most beautiful cities in Italy, but often not included in the must-visit list of destinations in Italy. The city is compact enough and easily covered on foot if you do not feel like cycling. One of its famous delicacy is the Parma ham, one of the finest ham in the world. So when you are buying Parma ham, you can always be guaranteed a premium and artisan product because there is an association that checks every single Parma ham and ensures the production and final result are up to standard before being branded with the certification trademark, the Duca crown, as you can see in the picture on the ham leg. This is also the home of where Parmesan cheese is produced. This hard cheese is among the top cheese rated by cheese connoisseurs. They are often grated over pastas, used in soup, and risottos. It is also can be eaten on its own as a snack. Right. So when you are in Parma, you must try this pizza that will make use of these two finest ingredients you can find in the city. Then we will do a loop right to the breathtaking castles of Torre, which is nested on the hills with natural landscapes of the valley around River Parma. The castle is not only a military and defensive stronghold in the olden days, it is also a distinguished home for the powerful lord and his lover during those times. Right. So not only you are going to visit the UNESCO World Heritage Sites of the cities, seeing castles, as well as the food specialty. Earlier, we also mentioned about the opportunities to do a lot of visits to street markets as you cycle around the towns or the cities. Okay, you'll come across a lot of fruit stalls or food stalls, right? And also throughout the trip, you will have plenty of opportunity to do some energy loading by visiting the different gelatos shops dotted all around throughout all the places that we are going to visit, right? As you will know, gelato is one of the renowned desserts from Italy. So when you are there, it is a must try, right? Every different gelato will pride themselves for their own self-made um, gelato. So it is good to try the different types and see which ones actually suits your palate the best, right? Then as we head off into the countryside, especially when we are doing loop rides in some of the city in Modena, in Reggio Emilia, as well as Parma, you will expect to see lots and lots of orchards, animal farms, and then the region is also well known for a grapes growing for making the wine. So you will also come across lots and lots of vineyards. And if you still have energy to spare after all doing all the countryside riding, feel free to help the farmers to harvest the grapes because the time we are going is the harvesting time. Okay. Harvesting of the grape will take place from late August until October. Okay. Free labor, which I'm sure that the farmers wouldn't mind. Right. So very often while we are cycling the countryside, you also come across a lot of quaint country houses. And in our itinerary, we have include 2 night stay in a farmhouse, which was looks something similar like this. Okay, these are usually called the pension houses in Europe, but they will offer bed and breakfast services to travelers who bypass the village or the towns. Okay. And then the beauty of having on a self-guided trip is also as and when if you like to take a break, you can always do so, right? There are a lot of resting places along the routes, scenic places that you can always stop by. And then very often, many of us would actually pack our lunch, and then we will often have little picnics at places like this, just by the side of the river or just anywhere which you if you find that it is interesting to you, quaint villages by the river or by anywhere, and then you can just open up and have a feast of the picnics that you have prepared. Okay. Then during the rides into the countryside, we will also be able to have hilltop views as you see on the screen here. So earlier on, we also mentioned that there will be some short hill climbs, okay, some undulating terrain. Yeah, but very often after a challenge ride, you will often be rewarded by views like this. Okay, So anyone have any questions so far about the trips that you would like us to touch on?
I think so far so good. Everybody's enjoying what
Oh,
you're
so good.
sharing.
Oh, no questions. Very good. So we will have sign up immediately later on, right?
Yes, I believe so.
Okay, so the link that Mabel shared will also allows you to make booking online if you would like to place a booking with us immediately. So after the trip, when the tour ends in Parma, you could easily take a train back to the city of Milan, or you can head straight to Milan Malpensa Airport. Right, the journey will be between 52 minutes if going into the city, or under 3 hours if you are heading to the airport. Okay, there will be about a 30 minutes transfer. That is why it will take more than 2 hours. Okay. Then nevertheless, if you will have more time and you want to extend your holiday, you are able to do so too. Right? So here are some suggestions that you can extend your vacation after the cycling trip or even before the cycling trip. All right. Before the trip, you may want to extend within Italy, or you may just come in a few days earlier to explore Bologna on your own. Right. Otherwise, you can always consider to extend a few more days in Parma after the trip, or extend in Milan, vice versa, before or after. If you have not been to Rome, you can also extend your trip to Rome, or even into southern Italy like Sorrento, Naples, or even to the island of Sicily. Or you want to head towards the west to Florence, to Pisa, this is also possible. Right? If you have enough of Italy, or this is already not the first time that you are going to Italy, then you may head up north to extend in Switzerland, or to France, which is just a train ride away from Milan. Right? You can also extend in Austria or Slovenia, which are all sharing the same borders of Italy. Right? If you want to head further, you can go further up north to Germany, towards the west to Spain, or the east Croatia. Okay, or any other parts of Europe, you can also do your extension by taking a short flight away. Right. So again here, this trip, the gastronomic heart of Italy, self-guided ride with a travel wonder trip facilitator will take place on 18th of September to 25th of September. Right. So for this departure, the land trip price is 1,376 per person. And if you cannot join us on this trip but still would like to embark on this cycling holiday, this is possible. From March until October, every Sunday there is a departure. And depending on season, it starts from $1,216 per person based on twin share. Right. So you may say that, okay, what Cheryl is quoting me now is only the land trip price. But what about the other travel arrangement that is come into play? How much should I budget them for? So before you depart, so here is a little bit of calculation that you will need to prepare for the trip, right? The 8 days tour is 1376, and the airfares to Milan, depending on the airline that you will want to take, will start from about $1,138 up to $1,503 as I check this afternoon, right? Then the train from Milan to Bologna will cost about $80. And then the train from Parma to Milan airport will cost about $51. So all in all, this holiday, your air plus land will comes up to be about 2,645 per person onwards. Okay, So some of the other miscellaneous costs you have to take into consideration will be your travel insurance, right? The extension that you may want to do, whether is it in Milan, Parma, Bologna, or any other parts of Europe. So all these is additional to add in. And then during the tour, on tour, what are some of the things you need to budget for? They are your lunch and dinners. Okay, I have a range here. It may cost more, it may cost less, because it all depends on your choices of food and beverages. Okay, one thing you will have to take note of is that in Italy, you must pay a hotel city tax, which at the time of check-in, we will pay right at the spot in each individual accommodation. Okay, we cannot collect these before your departure, as this is the uh, requirement of the Italian government. So it can be anything from minimum $21 up to maximum $52 for all 7 nights of stay, right? It depends on the category of hotels, right? So it can be probably only €2 uh, per person per day when we are staying in the farmhouse, but when we check into a hotel, it could be a 3-star hotel, it could be a 4-star hotel, and then it can goes up to €3 or €4 per person per day. Right? So after the holiday, when we return to Singapore, what are the entry requirements we have to follow? Right, we have already simplified, our Singapore government has simplified the process so much that it is now um, no longer a hassle to go for a vacation, I must say. Right? So for fully vaccinated travelers, you just have to ensure that you have your vaccination certificate ready, whether it is a digital copy or you print it out on paper. Okay, no more test is required. Okay, the PDT, known as the pre-departure test, is no longer required for arrivals into Singapore. Okay, but we will still need to submit the SG arrival card, health and travel history declaration up to 3 days before arriving in Singapore. Okay, this can be done easily over the mobile phone. You just click on the link, fill in whatever information you have, submit, and that's it. All you go. Okay, this information is accurate or correct as of today. Then here again, if you like more information on this trip, okay, to read the day-to-day itinerary, feel free to click on the link that Mabel has pinned onto the comments box, right? So don't forget, we are giving away a $50 saving if you can place a booking by 30th of April, right? So now, question time.
Yes,
And
Cheryl.
yes,
We do have a question online from our viewer, Siu Man Kwan. Hi, Man Kwan. Okay, so
hello, hi Mantuan.
Man Kwan's question for us is that, okay, the questions are coming in now. The first question is,
Mm.
most hotel, do they accept debit card or credit card?
Yes, most of the hotels will accept that. Are you referring to going to pay the hotel city tax by card? Right? You can
Hmm.
let us know. I I can't remember the last time that I've gone to Italy was at least 3-4 years back. I also cannot remember whether do I pay them by cash
Can.
or credit card. Yes,
Yeah.
I can double check that again. Yeah, but
Hmm.
I think nobody will decline any forms of modes of payment. Yeah, but
Yes, actually,
I will check that.
okay. So Man Kwan, we will check that and then we will let you know. The second question raised is whether do we have an elevation for each day's ride?
Uh, at the moment, I haven't got hold of them. Yeah, but we will be sharing this information for anyone who is interested. Mm. This trip is graded as a beginner trip, so we are not expecting anything too technical. except when we are heading out into the countryside, then we can expect a little bit of undulation, as you see in the pictures, right? So when we are visiting the castle, most of the time during medieval times, ancient time, castle is always built on top of a hill, of a small hill. Okay, so we can
Yeah.
expect a little bit of climb, yeah, but nothing too difficult, right? Anytime if we can't go on, you can just always get off the bicycle and do a little bit of push up the little hill. Yeah.
That's right. Okay, so I'm going through the comments. At the moment, we do not
Mm,
have any questions, but I would do like to
okay.
share some of some interesting things that I saw from your presentation of the trip, right? I
Yes.
really enjoy the earlier slides when you show of the different cycling terrain for this trip.
Mm.
Yeah, because I find it's so interesting. You have a mixture, gravel, and then there's country roads. And even in the city, they have very nice cycling path. I was actually
Yes.
I was actually quite worried thinking that in the city, because we know Italy, they have a lot of cobblestones, right? Whether is it very difficult to cycle there and will it be challenging? But the moment you show the pictures with the smooth pathway, I know that it's no problem at all. It'll be such an enjoyable ride. Yeah.
Yes. Yes. That is something I'm quite surprised myself that I think in these recent years there's a lot of changes uh in the entire continent of Europe to make it a very, very cyclist friendly destination, or maybe we should say continent, right?
Mm.
I remember most of the Italians or even other European small villages and town, a lot of time they will always done up their city centers, or I would say the centers of the town or village in cobblestone, and that makes walking also a little bit challenging. So
Yeah.
when I look at the pictures as I was putting this together, that wow, that's very thoughtful of the Italians to actually pave like two streets of the
Yes.
town path, yeah, along the cobbled streets, just to ensure that the cyclists will be able to cycle safely within the hut or the village center. I thought that was very, very thoughtful.
Yes. I remember years back when I first after I reconnected with cycling, I did a ride in Prague and I was
Mm,
cycling on the cobbled streets. Well, I have had such a hard time trying to balance myself, and not be a hazard to any all the pedestrians around me. It's so stressful, but of course, as
mm,
I cycle, I get used to it. It becomes more and more enjoyable, lah. But it's just that initially, because I think here we don't really have that kind of experience on cobbled streets,
mm,
so it's also quite fun because it's something different. We don't get to experience it here.
mm,
Hmm.
mm. Yes, and it's
Uh,
also very good massage, right? Free massage for the butt.
correct. Also, just now you shared about the balsamic vinegar. I didn't know that
Yes,
it goes well with grilled squid. I
it goes so good.
for me, whenever I take balsamic vinegar, it's always either with bread, with the olive oil, or in salad. So it never really occurred to me that I can actually pair it with other food, and then it will actually elevate the taste as what you have shared about the grilled squid. And now it makes me
Yes.
want to try.
Yes, you must really try, and this is how I discovered was in exactly in Italy. I mean, I am a sotong person. No? I love sotong. I see sotong, I cannot
Yes,
don't eat
I
one.
know.
Yeah. So I ordered the squid. So here it comes, and then what this guy do was just to dress olive oil and balsamic vinegar. That was just like that. Is that all that how he's going to like serve me? Then I said it's okay lah. Anyway, we never tried before ma, right? So everything
Yeah.
there is always a first time try. And I tell you, oh my god, no regrets. Really, really no regrets. Like you say, it elevates the freshness of the seafood. You can really taste the sweetness of the sweet. It's really so
Mm,
good. And because balsamic vinegar is sour, so I think
yes.
it's a very good complement. Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
Interesting.
I
Interesting.
never know such simple dressing can
Mm.
actually bring out. the whole dish to such a high level, right?
Yeah. So next time round, we need to try. Okay, we have another question by Mang Kwan asking
Mm.
whether is there any chance to visit a vineyard with wine tasting on this trip?
Yes, the vineyard visit is definitely possible as we cycle along the way. And then wine tasting, it also is possible on some of the vineyard because it is the harvesting season. So a lot of vineyard will be very busy in doing harvesting. So some may be open for wine tasting, some may not. So those that are open will be able to visit.
Okay,
Mm.
great. Okay, so while we wait for more questions to come in, I'll just share a little bit more on what I find interesting about the trip. As you were sharing about the food, I find it very interesting that there is an association for Parma ham. I saw that
Yes,
you have the crown. This is the first time I'm
yeah,
hearing of such things. The Italians really takes their ham very seriously,
yes, they
especially in
take
Parma.
pride in their food. Yeah.
Yeah. That's interesting. And also, I just love the image of the gentleman, the cyclist lying on the bench,
Mm-hmm.
just relaxing, soaking in the atmosphere. It just feels that at that moment he has no care for anyone else except for
Yes.
enjoying the ride and all those.
Yeah,
Yeah.
she must have enjoyed herself so much and she probably have fallen asleep, much to the irritation of her cycling mates who was like looking at her, are you ready to go?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
So this is some of the beauty or I would say advantages when you are on a self-guided trip like this, right?
Mm,
You can
indeed.
often stop as and when you like, how long you will
Yeah.
want to stay, right? How fast you want to ride, how slow you want to ride. And our on our Italy trips, right? This digital GPS that we are going to provide to you will also enable the voice navigation. So it is very similar like you are using a Google Maps where you have this very nice voice from a man or from a woman who will tell you how many meters you have to turn left, how many meters you have to turn right. So you don't have to worry that you have to keep looking down on your device or your mobile phone, all right, to look at where you have to go, right? So you can keep your head up, enjoy the scenery, and then listen to the voice navigation.
Yeah. That's
Yeah.
that's the beauty of technology nowadays.
Yes, yes. And then we will also support or supplement you with route notes. Okay, some notes that
Mm.
that is written. So some people may prefer to not only just rely onto the navigation, you also would like to read something like what's going to look out for, all these things. So you have a good balance between the digital support as well as a copy support in that sense.
And also
Yeah.
the copy map makes a very good souvenir to bring back from the
Mm-hmm.
trip. And then along
Mm-hmm.
the way,
Yes.
if there's something very nice that you and like, you can actually do a marking on the map also. So next time around you can always refer back to it. To remember
Yes.
the good times you have while cycling. And
Yeah.
and actually the price that you check for the tickets to Milan, very good pricing,
Mm.
I'm very surprised. Because we all know
Yes.
border open, so demand is actually for travel is getting more and more. So I was expecting so much higher in terms of the ticket price.
Yes,
So I'm
it's
very
as of now that I check, this is the best
mm,
pricing. Of course, I'll probably also make it clear here that it's not just on Singapore Airlines. Of course, if you are moving towards to the right hand side of the scale, then that is the price we are looking at of Singapore Airlines at the present moment. Otherwise, if you are not very particular about flying by which airline getting you into Europe, whether is it a transit flight somewhere along the journey, you can get as low as 1,001. Yeah, as of today.
mm,
Also, not forgetting that the month of September and October is the super peak season for all cycling and hiking holidays or activities in, I would say, the entire of Central and Western Europe, or Eastern and
Yeah.
Eastern Europe also. So that is why hotels are going to run out very soon, even the bicycles also, and also FS.
Oh,
So if
yes.
you are really looking into this trip, we will strongly encourage you to book early. Place a deposit early to secure all the basic travel arrangement that you need. Yeah, then you are be sure that you will be able to go away on a vacation. Otherwise, by the time if you decide probably in May, it might be too late already. It will be too late. Too late.
That's
Yeah.
true. Because in Europe, they always have a habit of booking at least 6 months or more in advance, so that they are ensured that they can have of accommodation confirmation of the best price for tickets. So if you really decided, okay, you want to give it a try, now is the best time to just go and book. And while the tickets price are still affordable,
Yes.
before the price starts to go up further.
Yes. Right. The only thing here will not change is the land trip price. Okay.
Yes,
But the
that's right.
problem is I can give you that price. I cannot give you the room if you book too late.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah. Uh, Whereas
Then,
if you book later, then you will expect the airfares will have to go up.
yeah,
All right. So now we are looking at two different spectrum of putting these holidays together. So
yes,
nevertheless, if you can get your leave, your annual vacation clear off, then book early. Okay, let's don't wait.
yeah.
Okay.
Okay, I think that's it for the Q&A, the questions
Mm,
from our viewers.
right. So let's see. Okay, we are today we are going to launch a new initiative in Singapore. Let's go Kai Kai with Wonder Girls. So what is this all about? Right. We are open, calling to all cycling and hiking enthusiasts in Singapore. It's like we would like to invite you to bring us on rides and hikes around Singapore. Okay. Bring us on an interesting cycling and hiking route with snippet of the route highlight. I'm sure many of you have already explored so much of Singapore during the past 2 years. Yeah.
Yeah,
So we like you to bring us to explore this little discovery you had with us. Okay. So if your route entry is selected, uh, travel wonder hiking or cycling related souvenir and $100 travel wonder voucher will be presented to you. Right. We will select a total of 6 cycling and 6 hiking routes. So we are going to look at a total of 12 winners, not just one, but 12.
yes.
Yeah. So submission is very easy with these 4 steps. So you can drop us an email or even a WhatsApp, right? Titled Kai Kai with the Wonder Girls. Okay, you can WhatsApp to us at 8714-3321 or email to us at twsg@travel-wonder.com. Okay. Share with us your route description. Where is the starting point and where are you going to end? And along with the route highlights, like what we're going to see, what we're going to expect, and what is the total distance covered, right? If you wish, you may also include your GPS map. Okay. Then you have to include the cycling or the hiking terrain. Are we going to walk on PCNs? Are we going to walk on trails? Are we going to cycle on pedestrian? Are we going to cycle on the roads? So let us know. And if you are planning a cycling route, maybe also tell us the bicycle suitability. For this can join, right? Or is it only for mountain bike? Or any sorts of bicycle is able to come on such cycling route. Any extra information that you think we need to take note of or to highlight? Okay, let us know first. Okay, then you sign off with your name and mobile phone. Right? Oh, I've forgotten to put when are we closing this? Is it
Oh,
15th of May?
yes. The closing deadline is on the 15th of May.
Yes. So submit to us your routes, where you want to bring us to. Okay, we'll be so eager to join you on one of your walking routes or cycling routes, right?
That's
By the
right.
15th of May. Then our next Weeknights with the Wonder Girls will take place on 4th of May at 8:30, and we're going to share with you cycling in South Korea autumn colors, right? We're going to show you uh, autumn colors in South Korea on a bicycle. Okay, the autumn colors in South Korea is one of the why I say that the most not most one of the most beautiful autumn colors in the world. Okay,
Yeah, they're very well known for that. That's right.
yes, and the seasons are usually very short. I think
Mm.
Korea has only about 3 weeks to a month of autumn, so the leaf is going to come and go fairly quickly.
Yes.
Yeah. So we have to plan the right exact timing on when to go so that you can enjoy the max of the autumn colors in Korea, right? So thank you very much, everybody. Thank you for joining us on this evening weeknight with Wonder Girls by Travel Wonder. So if you have any questions or any follow up on the trip, please do not hesitate to drop us a WhatsApp at 8714-3321, right? Or you can join us on our new social media platform. Anytime, you will also be receiving updates, right? Mabel, do you have anything to add?
That's all for my side. Thank you so much for sharing, Cheryl, and thank you all for your questions and for participating as well. We look
Mm,
forward, to having you join us on the Let's Go Gai Gai with Wonder Girls, and also next week for our cycling in South Korea autumn colors.
yes. And I think if you are really planning an overseas trip next year or even the second part of this year, then you should make use of our $100 travel voucher. I think that is a good discount on top of all the rest of the ad hoc discount we are throwing out,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
Because anyway,
Yes.
you have already cycled the route, right? So you don't really have a lot of homework to do. You can just right away submit your entry to us,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
right?
That's right.
Yeah. Yeah, just bring us on the ride. We'll be very, very happy to join you
Yeah.
anytime.
Mm.
Yes. So thank you very much.
Thank
Have a
you.
good
Thank you,
evening and we'll
everyone.
see you next week.
Yes. See you next week.
Bye-bye.
Bye bye.
Bye.